Hey everybody, Mark from Perseverance Woodworks here, and today we're going to be doing another part of our big slab table. So today what we're going to do is we're going to flatten this table some more, and we're going to be using a router right here, a router sled, which is this big looking box, a level, and some 2x4s and 2x6s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get set up for it, and then when I get it all set up, I'll come back and I'll explain how I set it up. Then we'll run the sled and we'll run the router, we'll flatten this, and I'll give you a little more explanation about how we flatten it and the bits we use. And so if you ever want to do it yourself, you can. Okay, so I'm back. I'm going to show you what I did to get set up here. I don't know if you can see everything. So what we did first of all is we've got the slab, the table slab, set up on the sawhorses. The first thing you got to do when you get your table slab on your sawhorses is you want to make sure it's level. Okay, so I take a nice good sized level and I set it on my table, and wherever it's off, I shim it. I cut some wood shims, and so I shim up my slab so that it's nice and perfectly level on the studs, on the sawhorses. Then the next thing I do is I've got 2x4s connected to 2x6s, and the 2x4s you want to have at least one side nice and level, nice and straight. So what I've done is I've taken these inside the shop and I've ran my number 7 joiner over them, my hand joiner, my hand planer, and I've got a nice straight smooth side on these two sides of this 2x4. So now I know I have perfectly flat sides on this. I've connected them to the 2x6s over here, and I've clamped the 2x6s down to the sawhorses. But before I did that, I also took my level and laid it on here and double checked it to make sure it was all level. So I know that the 2x6s are level going this direction. The next thing we're going to do, and the way this is going to work, is we've made a router sled. So this is a box that I made. You can see it's got a groove in the center, and it's nice solid hardwood on the bottom so it doesn't bend and bow as you're using it. And I've got the walls on the side clamped in or screwed in nice and tight so that I can move this around. So what happens is this sets on top of your 2x6s that are nice and flat and level, and this slides across your table like so, right? So the thing you got to make sure now is that this is also nice and level, and it's slightly off, so I'm going to have to raise this side up just slightly. So what I'm going to do is I will shim this stud up a little bit and drop, and so that it's nice and level all the way across. And then when I get these two 2x6s and 2x4s level across this way and level this way, then we're ready to start planing down the table. All right, so this is the planer we're going to use to plane this out. And what I've got here, this is a 1.5 planer, and I've got a 1/2 inch router, straight router bit in here. It's set a little high, but that's because I need a little depth to come out of here. And I've also got a router guide that I've put in here. It's a Porter cable guide. This is 3/8 of an inch. It's slightly bigger than my bit, and the reason it's slightly bigger than the bit is because we're not using this guide as a guide. It's just gonna ride inside of that slot, and this is to make sure that my bit doesn't run up against the wood inside my sled and chew up my sled. So I'll show you just for a second how this is gonna work. Once I get everything nice and level, we get the planer running. The planer drops in the sled, like so, and we go back and forth over the table, and we slowly take out pieces, slowly take out chunks of the table. I can tell that already that this is lower than this side, so I'm going to start here and I'm going to start planing it down here, and when I don't hit wood anymore, I'm going to move over to that side because it's high. I'm going to plane it, and then I'm going to come back over here and keep going. And when I get to where I just skip across the top of it, then I've got a nice flat surface, and I can start with the hand plane again. So that's the idea of what we're going to do.